This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I spent 4 years fighting for money for film in the legislature, and it did not happen last year. And then I get sworn in as a county commissioner, and at my very first meeting, we have a fight over film money.
But this time, she won. County commissioners are adding $250,000 to local funds for filmmakers. While the decision represents a victory for the industry at the county level, a failure to extend incentives at the state level is causing an exodus of productions. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. More on the Suncoast and Florida film industry coming up. But first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin in Manatee County, where a 5-year plan aimed at fighting poverty is beginning to show results. In 2012, the county set goals to address the needs of low and moderate income residents receiving federal grants funding for local nonprofits. 5 years later, some of those goals have been met, while others are still a work in progress. The Salvation Army is at ground zero of that fight with shelters at capacity. They tell us the biggest issue remains the lack of affordable housing.
Rents may go up, but incomes may not. And so there has to be a multifaceted approach to the problem of attainable, affordable housing in our communities.
Manatee County is now beginning work on its next 5-year plan and is asking the public for input. 2 Manatee County men are behind bars tonight accused of sexually assaulting several mentally challenged victims. Jeremiah Damsgaard and David Mycanen were arrested on multiple counts of lewd or lascivious molestation as well as lewd and lascivious battery. Mycanen worked for the state as a caregiver for a life coach for those with special needs. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies say both men took advantage of several adult men and a minor.
There's no consent if you have diminished mental capacity, and that's what these individuals are classified, special needs. So again, they were getting assistance from the state, and at the same time, the person who was offering that assistance was sexually assaulting them.
Deputies say one of the men had been working with special needs individuals for 12 years, and there could be more victims. A scare today at the Strathmore Villas in Sarasota. Sheriff's deputies and hazmat personnel responded to a call about a suspicious device on River Bluff Parkway around 9 this morning. Authorities quickly determined it was actually several plastic and glass bottles containing screws and liquid. The scene was cleared and there was no injuries. Hazmat was also called out to I-75 near University Avenue after a fuel tanker flipped this morning. No one was seriously injured in the 3-car accident. The truck was carrying 8,500 gallons of fuel, but officials say only 500 gallons spilled onto the roadway. Hazmat crews spent the morning cleaning up the mess. Of course, there were just a wee bit of frustration for many during their morning commute.
My assistant, Dawn, gave me a call. She was on the interstate stuck in the parking lot, as she called it, and gave me a warning that she was going to be late. And so as I headed to work, I chose an alternate route.
Part of I-75 northbound near University will close between midnight and 4 a.m. to repair the damages from the crash. Despite the overnight I-75 accident and backups, Florida is not the worst state for drivers, but it's pretty darn close. Bankrate.com lists California as the worst state, and Florida takes 9th place. The study evaluated 50 states and was based on several factors affecting drivers, including fatal accidents, commute time, insurance premiums, gas prices, car thefts, and others. New Mexico, Nevada, Louisiana, and Wyoming round out the bottom 5 states. New developments tonight involving the efforts to get the Atlanta Braves to relocate to the Suncoast. Collier County was considering whether to pursue a spring training home for the team, but today the county commission voted not to pursue a deal. Meanwhile, negotiations continue between Sarasota County, the West Villages, and the Braves to bring spring training baseball to South County. The complex would include training facilities, practice fields, and the 7,500-seat stadium. It would have direct access to US 41 and West Villages Parkway. Meanwhile, Northport's City Commission is one step closer to allowing residents to keep chickens in their backyards. Commissioners talked today about the ordinance which would allow homeowners in single-family communities to have up to 4 chickens on a standard lot. No roosters are allowed. Those chickens would be prohibited from selling the eggs or chicken wings or drumsticks. And now over to Bob.
I'll tell you what, we have some problems right now. In fact, the National Weather Service has just issued a dense fog advisory for the Suncoast. Now, that is a dense fog advisory, meaning visibility is less than 1/4 of a mile. So keep that in mind if you plan on driving this evening. And through the morning tomorrow, it's going to be tough. Get a look at what's happened with the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Again, we've had some issues with that. This is a look from one of the cameras right there at the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But visibility's down to a half mile at the Sarasota-Braden Airport. We see that area in red from Siesta Key stretching off toward the interstate. In Sarasota, up US 301 and 41 near Lido and also Longboat Key. That visibility is less than 1/4 of a mile. And that's a result of this warm, moist air mass that we're in and temperatures cooling after the sun has set. There's the dense fog advisory. It covers everywhere from I-75 westward through Manatee County and throughout much of Sarasota County. That's in effect through this evening and tomorrow morning. More than likely will be expanded eastward as the fog starts to thicken up a bit. This is a look at the Cortez webcam. You can see it's thick there already on the bridge. 67 degrees, foggy conditions. Dew point is at 66, and west winds are at 6 miles an hour. As that wind lessens somewhat later on tonight, we're going to see that fog spread inland and get a little thicker too, Alan.
More like San Francisco.
Yeah, it certainly has been the last few nights. We've had these advisories, so tough driving.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, Sarasota County's commission is rolling out the red carpet for filmmakers, setting aside money to attract productions to the area. We'll show you how those in the industry are reacting to the move when we return.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
Kick off the season and find a unique holiday gift at the St. Petersburg Holiday of the Arts. Over 100 artists and thousands of works of contemporary art in photography, glass, sculpture, jewelry, and much more. The 3rd annual St. Petersburg Holiday of the Arts. Saturday and Sunday, December 17 and 18th at South Straw Park in St. Petersburg. Bring your sense of discovery and appreciation of the beautiful at the St. Pete Holiday of the Arts. For more information, visit ParagonArtEvents.com.
Don't miss the 19th annual Thunder by the Bay Motorcycle Festival, January 5th through the 8th, to benefit Suncoast Charities for Children. This year's festival welcomes special guest Blue Oyster Cult to the premier sports campus at Lakewood Ranch on January 8th at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Festival events include a sporting clay tournament, kickoff party, welcome Thunder event, Cruise for Cash charity motorcycle ride, and a 2-day Rockin' and Ridin' at the Ranch festival featuring vendors, live music, a taste of Thunder area, and more. VIP tickets are available. For tickets and info, visit thunderbybthebay.org.
A new film starring Ben Affleck is about to be released. The movie takes place in Ybor City in Tampa, but it was actually filmed in Georgia. The state of Florida has chased away filmmakers, but here in Sarasota County, commissioners recently gave the green light to funding that will hopefully bring more productions to the area. ABC's Rick Adams joins us now with a sneak peek as to how this rebate money will help. Rick.
Yeah, Alan, this $250,000 will help in a huge way. It gives movie production companies a lot more reason to come here to film. The hope is it's just the little boost that Sarasota County needs to have more movies and other productions filmed in the county. $250,000, which county commissioners approved a few weeks ago. It's a cause Nancy Dieter championed when she was in the state legislature and is pushing for it now that she's on the county commission.
We have the statistics to prove that it brings a lot of money. They have hotel rooms, they are in restaurants, they buy from local people a lot of things that they need.
As a state senator, she fought hard for a bill which would have brought more films to the state of Florida. Her efforts failed. She's thrilled about this victory to bring a taste of Tinseltown to the Suncoast.
We have every kind of thing you would need. The beaches, we have swamps, we have alligators, but the number one reason that filmmakers used to come to Florida, oddly enough, was bridges.
How it works is a film company comes into Sarasota County to shoot its project. Part of the money they spend in the county can then be reimbursed as a rebate. Jeannie Corcoran, director of the Sarasota County Film Commission, anticipates more productions of all types in the year ahead in the county.
I look forward to more television work. I look forward to more indie film work. I look forward to more of our local producers that are so talented, our writers, our producers, our actors, to bringing projects here and keeping projects here.
And another big plus for filmmakers is a 40,000 square foot soundstage facility that's being built here at Ringling College. It's a place that's sure to create a lot of movie magic. The 3 buildings making up the facility are just a few months away from completion, including sound stages for movie making and other productions, as well as post-production work. Staff at Ringling says this will be a game changer for the college and for the area.
We now will have the ability to maintain high-paying jobs, skill-based jobs, high-technically trained jobs here in the area where they're staying. They're not fleeing to Georgia, they're not going to Los Angeles or New York and taking the skills that they've cultivated here, but keeping them in the community.
Stopperin is hopeful that the state of Florida will see the value in bringing movies to the Sunshine State. It's something he's happy to see that many of the Sarasota County commissioners understand.
By rebating qualifying expenses, the level of commitment from the commissioners is incredible.
A pair of Suncoast residents who are really excited about the funding and the prospects of more movie making in Sarasota County are the husband and wife team of Ray Rodriguez and Lori Collins. They're the award-winning filmmakers of a documentary called China the Dragonsmith, The Second Chance. That's a movie featuring a local boxer which was filmed in the county.
It's going to boom in the film industry. It's only a little bit, it's only this much, but it's the beginning of a new world in Sarasota in the film industry.
We're excited again, and I think it's going to really regenerate the interest in film in the area.
As for Nancy Dieter, she says funding for filmmakers is something she will continue to push hard for during her time as commissioner.
What we need to do is demonstrate to the public the value of having this in our county.
And by the way, the soundstage facilities at Ringling College are expected to be finished and ready for business by this April. Alan?
Rick, thanks. And when we return, we'll get takes on the issue from the head of the Ringling Film Department, the County Film Commission, and a local producer. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
A poodle butter dish. I'll use this. A chicken purse. It's so artsy. You're really good at giving gifts.
This holiday, give the perfect gift.
Perfect.
Flowers, always the perfect gift. Beniva Flowers and Gifts, exceeding your expectations.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Welcome back. While $250,000 is helpful to Sarasota's film industry, Florida is struggling to compete with the rest of the nation. In 2010, a jobs bill designated $296 million in tax credits for film studios and production companies. It was meant to last 6 years. In June, the credits expired. The Motion Picture Association of America estimates those credits help bring $3.7 billion to the state economy. As the money dries up in Florida, many states are offering generous incentives. Georgia, Washington, Oklahoma, New York, Louisiana, and Kentucky all offer incentives to cover 30% of production costs. Joining us for more on state and local film industry is Brad Battersby, the head of the film department at Ringling College, Gene Corcoran, the director of the Sarasota County Film Commission, and Victor Young, executive producer at Victor Young Productions. Boy, I have so many questions, but let me start with this. You know, we talked about the Ben Affleck film that was supposed to be shot close to here in Ybor, in Georgia, but the other film involving Bryan Cranston, The Infiltrator, was shot in the Tampa area. So why was that major film production able to be shot around here and Ben Affleck's production not?
Well, first of all, Infiltrator was incentivized not only by Hillsborough County in the Tampa Bay region, but also by St. Pete and Clearwater. They also worked together on Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, or School for Peculiar Children. There were local incentives involved, and it may be, and I don't know without checking the records, but it may be that the Infiltrator pre-qualified for some of those tax credits before they evaporated, and that was the final piece of the jigsaw puzzle that brought them here.
But that fund has dried up.
Yes, that fund ran out of tax credits technically about three and a half years ago. There were still and are still projects that are in the works, and they're in the pipeline of completing their work and applying and receiving and so forth. So there's money there in form of tax credits, but they're allocated and pre-certified and earmarked and gone. They just exist until the projects continue to fulfill their obligations.
So what happens if a production qualified for those credits, but, you know, as like many projects, it goes south at some point? Does that get put back into the pot?
No. If they pre-qualified and they were certified, pre-certified for those credits are held for them, which is why we ran out. They pre-certified so many tax credit dollars in advance, especially for TV shows that anticipated doing 5 seasons or 6 seasons and getting 6 years worth of credits. Some of them didn't. Charlie's Angels is a great example. They only shot 3 or 4 episodes before they tanked. That money flowed back in because they didn't finish, they didn't perform in. But the ones that are still performing and wrapping up, such as Ballers had some incentives, but now they're going elsewhere because they have none left. Probably The Infiltrator and other projects.
I have so many more questions about the state aspect of that, but we'll handle that in the next segment. What I want to talk about now is the county package that was just passed by the county commission. What size production would that attract to the Suncoast?
Well, it's very encouraging, first of all, that there's that kind of commitment from the county because what it does is it provides a lot of filmmakers to come here, and we're able to set up a little bit of a cottage industry. And little by little, we're able to get a hold of some major filmmakers, show them the area, show how good our infrastructure and our crews are, and then they'll start to come back. And we've had that great projects recently with Dylan McDermott. We had a great one just this fall. Yeah, Sugar. And this fall, we just finished a web series with Justin Long and his brother Christian. And this, I mean, these guys rave about our area and our ability to make something.
So, Victor, would this help somebody like you who is interested in developing these projects shoot them locally?
Absolutely. Without some type of incentive, it really makes more sense to go to an Atlanta. You know, so this allows us to...
Is that what you've had to do in the past?
Absolutely. I mean, if you can't budget your project locally, you have to go somewhere else. And so by having a countywide incentive, you're able to get enough back, per se, enough added value back that you can cover some of your costs and maybe even attract an investor by covering some of that cost and making that project look a little bit more advantageous to someone investing in and helping you out on the other side.
So has this opened your eyes for specific projects that you think you may be better off shooting here?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and we want to shoot locally. I mean, it's for being a Floridian. You want to shoot in your home state. You want to shoot in your home city. So
I want to applaud. I want to.
All right.
Yeah.
We are just getting started on this discussion, but there is more coming up. But when we return, we'll have your weather forecast, so stay with us.
On horrendously cold nights, on days when the rain has been relentless, or when the sun is beating down, there is an animal trapped with no protection, fighting to stay alive. Time is running out for them, but you can help save them by joining the ASPCA today. With your donation of just $18 a month, you'll help rescue abused and neglected animals, provide them with food, shelter, and medical care. When you go online or call in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this free membership kit and our limited edition 150th anniversary t-shirt. It's just 60 cents a day to pull animals out of a terrible life. Don't let them suffer another day. Please help now.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called three-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Dotoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Sarasota, we're uncorking something special at Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room. Shop in a relaxed atmosphere with our wine specialists. You'll find 1,000 international wines, 200 under $20. National brand and boutique liquors at competitive pricing. Handcrafted beers. Stop by Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room today and let us show you something exceptional.
Our discussion of film incentives continues in just a minute, but right now let's get a check on our weather from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. This is how quickly fog can roll in. This is Sunshine Skyway Bridge webcam, and every so often, every 10 minutes or so, it gets a snapshot here. I'm going to put that into motion to show you at around 5:30 it was fine, and then as early as 6 o'clock it got pretty bad, and now the National Weather Service has issued a hazardous driving advisory now for area roads, mainly from the Interstate I-75 westward as a result of that sea fog that has rolled in. Some photos sent in. This one, Damon Powers under the Ringling Bridge just before the sun went down, snapping this photo right there. And then Siesta Key, it was sunny throughout most of the afternoon. And all of a sudden the fog rolled in, and Dave Levy sending that photo in. It looks like it will be around rather thick too at times. It's already starting to move in mainly in Manatee and Sarasota counties. The area in red is where the visibility is less than a quarter of a mile, and that's right here along Siesta Key, stretching into downtown Sarasota and places northward toward the airport. There may be some delays with some of the air traffic into the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport due to the fog that has rolled in. The dense fog advisory, then there's I-75 that you see right there. Anywhere west is where the advisory is. However, I think this is going to spread eastward through the night and the morning as a result of the winds laying down and fog developing and continuing to move in onshore. There are some changes in store. There's a frontal boundary to the north of us. This cold front will eventually change things up. We'll get away from this foggy conditions. We've had dense fog advisories for the past 3 nights now, but once we get through tomorrow night, there'll no longer be an issue because the drier air will move in. Right now, heavy rain moving through the panhandle of Florida, heading toward Tallahassee right now. Our current conditions, fog 67 degrees, dew point right there at it, and the humidity now at 97%. Winds are out of the west at 6, and the pressure 30.06 inches. The high today managed to get above average despite the presence of the fog throughout much of the morning. 79 the high, well above the average of 74. And this morning's low is warm at 61. No rainfall to report. It's been dry, and it will stay that way, too, it looks like, despite this front. It may bring a brief shower or two Thursday morning, but we're not anticipating a lot of rainfall. Temperatures currently in the mid-60s to upper 60s near the coast. A little bit warmer where they had more sunshine inland today in places like Arcadia, Sebring, Avon Park, and now it's 70 in Inglewood. Forecast tomorrow, morning fog and then sunshine mixed with some clouds, and then temperatures warming into the mid-70s, so closer to seasonal averages tomorrow, at least near the coast. The big story was the snow over the weekend for the Midwest and the upper Mississippi Valley. Now it's the extreme cold that's moving in, and a little bit of snow shower activity over Ohio, as well as with that frontal boundary just to our north. So the Arctic freeze is on, spreading off toward the Great Lakes for much of Wednesday and Thursday. Fog again tomorrow, northwest winds for boaters. Not much of a wind out there for your sails. A light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now at 69 degrees. And as far as the tides go, upcoming for Sarasota Bay, a high tide at 10:16, a low tide at 6:44, and sunset will be at 5:38. The extended forecast calling for this cold front not to do much. A slight chance for a shower Thursday morning, and then we warm up back into the 80s on Saturday and Sunday. Alan will be right back after this. Stick around.
On horrendously cold nights, on days when the rain has been relentless, or when the sun is beating down, there is an animal trapped with no protection, fighting to stay alive. Time is running out for them, but you can help save them by joining the ASPCA today. With your donation of just $18 a month, you'll help rescue abused and neglected animals, provide them with food, shelter, and medical care. When you go online or call in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this free membership kit and our limited edition 150th anniversary t-shirt. It's just 60 cents a day to pull animals out of a terrible life. Don't let them suffer another day. Please help now.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing financial incentives for filmmakers. Last month, Sarasota replenished county funds with $250,000, but at the state level, the tax incentive program ended. Joining us for more on this topic is Brad Battersby, the head of the film department at Ringling College, Jeannie Corcoran, the director of the Sarasota County Film Office, and Victor Young, an executive producer at his namesake production company. Victor, let me ask you, from what you know of the county incentive program right now, how is that changing what you're planning in the near term?
You know, what it allows us to do is really find some projects that fit, that we can maximize this incentive and keep here locally. We've had to create a sweet spot of films that we produce, and so if we can get smart enough people that are really good and proficient at filmmaking, we're able to keep these things local now. So for an example, we just completed a strategic partnership with Digital Caviar, where we're going to make a slate of films in the county and using county film incentives. But we're looking at projects anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 versus looking at projects in excess of $2 million. So it requires us to be a little bit smarter, more efficient, but the incentive allows us to stay local and keep these projects here. That was my next question, because what size of production are we talking about? Ringling is building those fabulous new studios and sound stages. What size of production can you handle? Can you handle a major Hollywood blockbuster type movie, or are you talking about television projects? And will these incentives help?
Yeah, well, no.
Above, right?
We'd love to be able to handle the Hollywood style blockbuster movie, but that's not what we offer right now. What we're offering is filmmakers, artists, to come in to make their personal projects, their dream projects, and to work with our students and the school and the environment and take advantage of some of the things we have going, including this new facility that's going to have 5 sound stages, 2 that'll be 8,000 square feet, 3 that'll be 2,500 square feet, and then a post-production sound facility that'll have editing suites, a Foley stage for sound effects, and then dubbing stage. Is it possible to give us an example of a project that would fit perfectly there? Well, we recently, 2 years ago, we made a film, a low-budget film called Dark Knight. And Tim Sutton was the writer-director, and it went to Sundance Film Festival to rave reviews. Eventually, you'll start to see it out in the real world. But that's kind of the ideal, that was the sweet spot for us, which was you take a filmmaker artist who has a passion project, who can connect with our environment, our setting, and our facilities and equipment, and mostly our students. Our students are amazing. They're really trained for this, but they're trained for the smaller, low-budget, independent-style filmmaking. Jeannie, obviously, this is great news, and the county is doing what it can, but the county cannot do what the state can. Right. I know that Commissioner Dietert was really frustrated her last year in the state legislature on this issue.
And she was a champion.
She was
really
a champion,
worked so hard for so many.
But it was basically shut out and shut down. Are there any long-term hopes that the state legislature can reverse this kind of decision?
We are very hopeful. I think I just came from a 3-day conference in Orlando with the statewide Film Florida organization, which is dozens of film commissions from around the state. I'm the co-chair of the Film Commissioners Council for the state. And we also have industry professionals that belong to Film Florida, and they participated. Tony Stopperan from Ringling College was there, and we spoke a lot about the Educational Council and the Strategic Futures Council. And we want to come at this from a lot of directions to solve the problem. It's going to take the educational component about what it means to our students to keep the brain drain from bleeding off our brightest and our best and sending them off to New Orleans or sending them off.
Did you invite anybody from the legislature to attend so they could see that there's a real economic benefit to the state?
They are always aware of it, and it is always open to them to come. And I know with committees and so forth and legislative task force being formulated right now, it's a busy time. But we do always have some legislators that are very actively aware of what we're doing. Mike Miller, there's a number of them I could name off. I just don't want to miss anybody and be thoughtless. They are aware of us. They care about our issue, but they have fiscal responsibilities that take them in other directions.
And in the near term, everything we're hearing about the state budget process right now is that they're concerned about that the budget surplus is going to be a lot less than it was in years before. So I would imagine it is unlikely, at least in the next legislative session, of getting some kind of renewed film incentive statewide.
We don't even want to use the word incentive anymore. I mean,
What's the new word?
It's really a misnomer because incentive implies it's a gift, it's a subsidy, it's a grant, it's a bribe, it's a gimme. That is not what it needs to be, and that's not what it really is, and that's not what we want it to be. We want it to be a rebate of a percentage of qualified spending in the state. So they spend all their money, they document their spending, they prove they've spent it all in the community, and they get a proportionate amount back, a percentage, based on what's qualified spending and what isn't. And it would work for everyone. And the other thing that Senator Dietert had talked to me about over the last couple of years when I've been up in the Capitol was having regions do some match funding, not one-to-one, because we don't have that kind of money, but to have some skin in the game. And we're seeing that happen. Sarasota County has skin in the game. They have put their money where their mouth is.
So has there in any recent time been a major Hollywood production that has approached you wanting to shoot in the county?
Oh, sure, absolutely. We scouted with the Warner Brothers project. We worked cooperatively with Manatee County and Hillsborough County when they were looking at all our different regions. We had Paramount Pictures here when we were going to do the John D. McDonald film, Deep Blue Goodbye. There are a lot of big projects that want to be here. They love the weather, they love the cinematic beauty, they love the sun, they love the light, the crews and so forth. But they have to be fiscally responsible to their bottom line, and their people in their budgetary positions of authority will say it's fiscally irresponsible to come without incentives.
So, Vector, let's say you are a major Hollywood producer,
yes,
and you are thinking about a huge budget right now, but you are from Sarasota. What is your calculation right now? What do you do? Do you just write off the Suncoast and Florida and look elsewhere, or?
Well, you know, like I mentioned before, after a certain dollar amount, you have to. You know, after you exceed maybe $500,000, it just doesn't make sense anymore. You have to have a rebate per se, because what happens is this: even when you call it an incentive, call it a rebate, call it what you will, the production company puts all the money up front. So you make your $1 million, $2 million investment, and then you get this money back in the end. Well, that money might be the money you need for distribution or for promoting your product. So every dollar counts, and you know, it's a lot of money that goes on the table to make these projects.
And we should say that California is struggling with this very issue right now. I read an article just the other day about how a lot of these films are moving to British Columbia.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Ireland, England.
And Los Angeles
Bulgaria,
Hollywood is an expensive place to make a movie these days.
Right. I want to say something in follow-up to what Victor was just saying. Our fund of $250,000, basically we give it out in allotments, small caps of up to $25,000, so that we can reward a lot of small to modest budget projects to come our way, get more volume for every dollar. But we also have the option at the county's discretion, if a project is a big project and it has, let's say, a $1.5 million budget, and they can show added value, they've got stars attached, or they've got distribution in place, or they have other added value that really would impress the community, the county has the ability to raise the cap to funds on hand. So a $1.5 million project could get the whole $250,000 back.
Okay. Let's take a break right now, but when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests, plus what some of our viewers are saying about our story last night.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
Flooring Depot has been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties for over 20 years with the best products and installation. Flooring Depot offers carpet, tile, hardwood, and more. Before you buy, give us a try. Stop by our showroom or visit us on the web at bestvaluecarpet.com.
Sarasota County Commissioners have taken a step to help the local film industry, setting aside $250,000 in funds. How can we continue that, to build on that? Our guests join us now for final thoughts. And Jeannie, we'll start with you because, you know, a lot of our viewers watch these programs and say, and they're tired of government spending money on anything.
And government waste and
right.
things like that.
And they're saying, okay, so how does this deal from the county commissioner? What kind of return are we going to see on this?
And that's the key word, return. Return on investment is what matters. It's not a giveaway, it's a rebate. If we keep that in mind, we want to see how many dollars back do we get in the community for every dollar we give. And so far, our little program has proven it returns frequently 20 to 1, 15 to 1, sometimes $75 or $80 for every one spent. We've had projects that have returned 8 to 1. That's an 800% ROI. That's
Victor,
pretty nice.
You are a producer. What's your next step?
We're going to continue to create projects and films based around the incentives we were able to get from the film office, and we're hoping that one day the state sees this as our industry just like they would bringing in a plant or Amazon or another company that they would allow to have tax incentives or state incentives to bring jobs and create jobs.
That's also a huge debate in Tallahassee these days in terms of incentives for all kinds of industry.
Absolutely.
Brad, what does Ringling do right now? I mean, do you have a salesperson out there trying to find those projects that would fit best into what you're creating?
Well, we have a area at the school called the Studio Lab, which brings in guest artists, and they're in constant communication with some of our past guests like Elijah Wood, Anna Paquin, Luke Wilson, Kevin Smith, and all these people have already expressed interest in coming back and doing a personal passion project with us.
Is there a level of business you basically have to do there to make what Ringling has invested worthwhile?
We very much have to look at what they're looking to do, what we're able to succeed in providing for them, and also constantly for us it's all about the education, because it's all about our students and the value to their education.
Okay. Before we go, we want to share with you what some of you are saying about a plan to give Sarasota teachers a raise. Sarasota's Classified Teachers Association will vote tomorrow on whether or not to give 5,000 employees a 4% raise. This would be the biggest in a decade. If approved, the decision goes to the school board. And here's what some of you are saying. Sahani Arias writes, teachers give their whole lives for their kids. It's not just the hours on campus, but all the time spent at home grading papers and creating lesson plans. Phil Harris writes, it's not that much. It is for 4+ years of college debt and the entrusting of our children and their future. And Alex Kadatz writes, Wish Manatee County would give our teachers the same respect as Sarasota. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And FYI, want to watch past roundtable discussions? They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. We want to thank our guests for being here tonight. Brad Battersby is the head of the film department at Ringling College of Art and Design. Jeannie Corcoran is the director of the Sarasota County Film Office. And Victor Young is executive producer at Victor Young Productions. When we return, the Federal Reserve is preparing to raise interest rates. For the first time in a decade, business commentator Richard Stern will explain what it means for you. Plus, opponents of medical marijuana may have lost in November, but now they are fighting in Tallahassee to secure strict regulations. The details in our prime time headlines.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Welcome back. Are you about to make a big purchase, a home, a car? Well, you might want to consider how interest rates could impact the cost. The Federal Reserve could raise rates as soon as tomorrow. For more on what this means for you and our economy, we're joined by ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern. Richard, we knew that this could not last forever. When was the last time the Federal Reserve upped the rates?
Well, Alan, that's a great question because, believe it or not, it's almost a year ago today to the day. But what you have to remember is prior to that, it was 2006. So if the Fed raises rates tomorrow, and I think everybody believes they will raise rates by 1/4%, it will be only the second time in 10 years that the Fed has raised rates, but everybody's more than ready for it.
The obvious question is, why now?
Why now? Because I think finally things are getting better. Unemployment certainly is down. It's not at a zero rate, but it's certainly an acceptable rate compared to what it was. Do remember that we've been through a housing crisis, we've been through a banking crisis, we've been through an employment crisis, we've been through lots of things, and the Fed, in its wisdom, allegedly, has said that rates have to remain low. Now the fact that the economy is growing, unemployment is low, inflation very, very modest, they think it's time to start raising rates, and it will have an impact to all the consumers out there, no question.
Right, because it becomes more expensive to borrow money for the car, for the house, or for whatever, but big picture, why is this good?
I'm not sure it's terribly good for a lot of our viewers because unfortunately so many of them historically have relied on things like CDs for income, and the rates going up by 1/4% aren't going to make a difference. I think what is a positive is the Fed's perception that things clearly are getting better. Certainly the stock market's reaction to the presidential election is certainly something that has mystified many people, including yours truly. But that being said, the reason that they're raising rates is because the economy is now in certainly out of neutral into drive, maybe not into overdrive, but doing very well. And certainly the Fed believes that a 0.25% increase now is very much appropriate. And I wouldn't be surprised that rates go up once or at least twice next year as well.
We've been talking since before the election about what the stock market would do if Donald Trump became president. Obviously, we've seen it continues to go up, up, and up. Is there, I mean, how do you figure this, and what do you see in the future?
Well, markets don't go one way forever, and I'm not the first one that's ever said that, but I will say that there is still a considerable amount of cash on the sidelines. People are wanting to participate in the market, even though it's going close to 20,000. And where the top is, we don't know. But there is a certain feeling among the investment community that President-elect Trump is going to run the government like a business. That's perceived by business people to be a positive. As a result, you're seeing more and more money go into the market. And I always say it's an auction market. If you've got more buyers than sellers, the market's going to go up. And Alan, we've had more buyers than sellers. We've had 15 record closes since the election. Truly unprecedented.
All right, Richard, thank you very much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
And we will be back in just a moment.
Stop by ABC7 or Sunset Kia in Sarasota, Bradenton, or Venice to pick up an Angel Tree gift tag. It will tell you what a local child or senior citizen is wishing for this holiday season.
From ABC7, thanks for your generosity and happy holidays.
You've seen me roll for 100 G's, but I got a little more than dough riding on this one. They call you Lady Luck, but there is room for doubt. At times you have a very unladylike way of running out. And so the best that I can do is pray. Luck, be a lady tonight.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Alex Karras Lincoln's holiday sales event is here. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Now for a look at your primetime headlines. It was a busy day at Trump Tower. It began with the president-elect meeting with Kanye West, the first public appearance of the hip-hop artist after being released from the hospital following a bout of exhaustion. And oh, by the way, we now know who Donald Trump is picking as his Secretary of State. ABC's 7's Karen Travers has the details.
The lobby of Trump Tower Tuesday buzzing with star power. President-elect Donald Trump coming downstairs for a morning photo op with Kanye West.
He's a good man.
Vogue editor Anna Wintour dropped by, and Microsoft founder and philanthropist Bill Gates.
We had a good conversation about innovation, how it can help in health, education, impact of foreign aid and energy, and wide-ranging conversation about the power of innovation.
Trump also sat down with former NFL star Ray Lewis and football legend Jim Brown, who admitted he didn't vote for Trump, but wants to work with him to help African-American communities.
Couldn't have been a better meeting. The graciousness, the intelligence, the reception we got was fantastic.
The revolving door of celebrities comes on the day Trump announced ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson as his pick to be Secretary of State. Tillerson doesn't bring any military or government experience to Foggy Bottom, but as the head of one of the world's most valuable publicly traded oil companies, he's brokered major international deals. Now the spotlight's on Tillerson's deep ties to Russian President Vladimir Putin, the two seen here sharing a champagne toast.
I've invested a lot of money, our company has invested a lot of money in Russia very successfully.
Some Republican senators publicly expressing concerns about Tillerson's potential conflicts of interest.
And there's a general sense that his direction on Russia would be different than the one that in the judgment of the Senate is the right way to go. He could be a referendum on the Donald Trump foreign policy.
But even those lawmakers who have raised flags about Tillerson's nomination say he deserves a fair and thorough confirmation hearing. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Now the Tallahassee, you voted for it. Now legislators are trying to figure out the rules regulating medical marijuana. The Senate Health Policy Committee is considering whether to expand the number of businesses authorized to grow, process, and distribute marijuana for the estimated 500,000 patients who will now be eligible. While 71% of Florida voters supported the amendment, legislators are now adamantly against it.
Decisions should be made between doctors and patients, and that this is a piece of public policy that will virtually overnight bring relief to hundreds of thousands of sick and suffering Floridians.
Our main concern was not that we were against medical marijuana, but it was against the possible diversion into the wrong hands. So we would like you to strictly regulate it to keep it out of the wrong hands. Marijuana is not harmless.
Opponents of medical marijuana are urging lawmakers to restrict the kinds of products sold, including candy, and allow for local jurisdictions to regulate where it can be sold. Late this afternoon, Manatee County Commissioners approved a 6-month moratorium on medical marijuana processing facilities and dispensaries. Bradenton City Council is expected to make a decision on its own 6-month moratorium tomorrow. Meanwhile, another controversial issue is going before a federal judge, Florida's abortion law. The state's ACLU is filing a lawsuit on behalf of religious organizations that provide abortion counseling to women. Lawyers are challenging parts of a 2016 measure requiring these groups to pay fees to the state for their services. The lawsuit also calls into question a provision requiring groups to tell women about alternatives to abortion. Over the summer, another judge struck down part of the abortion law requiring increased inspections of clinics. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.